Hi, I'm Steve Adubato, once again coming to you remotely, and I want to welcome for the first time with us, it will not be the last, Dr. Seamus Carey, president of Iona College in beautiful New Rochelle, New York. Good to see you, doctor.
Good to see you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
You were recommended to us by our mutual friend, Patrick Dunnigan, who is the chairman of the Board of Trustees at Iona. We've talked a lot about college life, he and I and others who have kids going to college, about to go to college. We're taping this on the 13th of July. What do you believe, from the information you have right now, college life will look like in September moving forward?
It's definitely going to be different. We've worked really hard to try to make it as much as possible an in-person experience here on campus. We've taken all the protocols from state guidance as well as the protocols from CDC and other science data to create as safe a campus as possible. However, we've also instituted a mixed modal delivery system so that some students will be taking online courses, some faculty will be delivering courses remotely, to be as accommodating as possible to try to get through the semester and the year.
I think back in the day, in all seriousness, we were talking about this, that I spent a year up at Iona, living right on North Avenue, which is the primary strip there, and loved my time going to college at Iona. But I remember the excitement of going to live up there, even though I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey, moved up to New Rochelle. For so many students for whom living on campus or off campus and having that campus life, and let's just say there is a terrific off-campus and on-campus life at Iona, how much does that change the experience for them?
Yeah, that's to be determined, Steve, to some degree, but we've taken that into account in our plans. We are obviously starting with safety as our primary goal, but then we are recognizing that the reason students are here is to interact with each other and with the faculty and with the staff. As you just kind of indicated, that's an essential part of the educational experience. And for students to come to college, being away from home for the first time, gaining that independence, learning what responsibility is, making their own schedules, right? Those are important parts of the developmental and educational process. And so we've taken that into account in our plans, and we've built a robust student activities program while at the same time adhering to the guidelines to keep people safe.
Well said. It's so interesting. COVID-19 I've been pushing innovation a lot. We have a leadership show where we talk about innovation. And when I think about innovation, I think about this new nursing initiative at Iona. It is a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. And there are other nursing initiatives. Were these initiated, Dr. Carey, pre-COVID, during COVID, both what?
Yeah, nursing was initiated, the plans for that were initiated pre-COVID. And we are grateful now, obviously, for having those programs in line, and we've already got students coming here next month to start in our nursing programs. Beyond that, Steve, when I came, and I've been doing this for a while, the business model for higher ed is unsustainable for traditional private small liberal arts colleges like us. So
what do you mean?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, why not sustainable?
Well, it's too expensive. There's not enough access for students. You can't continue to deliver the traditional model with all of the students sitting in classrooms in front of a single faculty member, 10 years out. Right now, the margins of a lot of private schools are small. COVID is going to push a number of schools over the edge, I think, financially, sadly. So we had already put in place the groundwork for innovation to be able to deliver our coursework, our content in alternative modes. This has stood us very well through COVID. Our enrollment's up 15% this year, which is unheard of in this environment. And one of the main reasons for that is we had already moved our admissions processes, our outreach to families to virtual interaction with students. And we are going to continue that with our content delivery and coursework going forward. So we feel like this is an opportunity as well as a challenge during the COVID time.
So Dr. Carey, what's so interesting is nurses were needed before. You've said nurses are heroes. We all say they're heroes, but we need more of them. They need to be protected. We need to understand the challenges that they and physicians and other frontline healthcare workers are facing. So yeah, an incredible challenge, but what a wonderful opportunity for us to truly demonstrate beyond the rhetoric beyond the celebrations, recognizing them, what we're really going to do to make a difference in this arena.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that I feel will be unique to our program here at Iona is you probably know that Iona is well known for its business acumen and its business education. We've also got
a great media program. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Great media program, no doubt. And we've also started the Heinz Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. And our nurses are going to be learning in the Heinz Institute for Entrepreneurship and Innovation so that they will have the ability to think through different situations, to be innovative within their own career. And I feel like that's going to be a real distinguishing factor to our nursing program to give them that support.
Let me ask you this in the limited time we have. With the amount of uncertainty, Dr. Carey, I mean, I'm into strategic planning, you're into strategic planning, our mutual friend Patrick Dunnigan is as well, but there are so many variables that we don't know how are going to play out and changes. Public policy, government policy changing constantly. New Rochelle, where you are based, the epicenter at the beginning, way back in March, way better now in terms of COVID-19. Long-winded question, but here it is. How the heck do you plan when there are so many things that are uncertain?
Great question. I mean, I think one of the things that people in our positions have to deal with that's most difficult is the ambiguity of the job. But, you know, you plan for the contingencies as best you can. On the other hand, you take it one day at a time. You make the best decisions you can, given the information you have. I like to revert back to the founder of the Christian Brothers who founded Iona College, Edmund Rice, and even before him, Colin Keel or St. Columba. And I think of what those guys accomplished. They were world historical figures, but when they started, they were addressing this very specific problem, right? They were like, how do I educate the poor kids in Ireland for Edmund Rice? And Colin Keel was, how do I protect myself and get these people some books, is basically what he started off doing. And they became world historical figures. I remind people of that every day. We have to address the situation that's put in front of us. There's always going to be challenges. You plan as best you can, and you're prepared to adjust. As long as you're following the information and you're guided by the right principles and values, you'll come out on the right side of history. It's
interesting, as we wrap up, Dr. Carey mentions the Christian Brothers. The Christian Brothers, big part of my life. I went to a school called Essex Catholic High School in Newark, which no longer exists. Talk about economic challenges. And they were one of the many feeder systems, if you will, into Iona. And let's just say this, forget about religion or your ideology or theology. I will say the Christian Brothers taught us discipline, focus, being innovative, solving problems, blaming nobody else, taking responsibility. And I know that Dr. Carey knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, Steve. And I think those values and those motivations apply today as much as they ever did. And I think that's what's going to stand well to us as we move forward.
They don't get old. Dr. Seamus Carey, President, Iona College in New Rochelle, New York, I want to thank you so much for joining us. All the best.
Thanks, Steve. Have a great day.
I'm Steve Adubato. We'll be right back.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health, Johnson & Johnson, Gibbons PC, PSC&G, the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, the New Jersey Education Association, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, and by the Fidelco Group. Promotional support provided by Jaffe Communications and by NorthJersey.com and Local IQ, part of the USA Today network.
In the fabric of America, they are the toughest threads. One of the first things they learned was the code that every service member lives by: leave no one behind. Now all of us need to live by it too, because some veterans are being left behind. 20 of them take their own lives every day. Learn how to be there for a veteran at BeThereForVeterans.com. Honor the code. Be there. Leave no one behind.